main thing I've been doing this week. I played a game and completed a game. I bought and played and completed
You
this
don't
week.
buy games.
Well, I did buy it. I actually bought it. Yeah.
My God.
A game called Tunic. Now, this is not a new game. It's released in beginning of this year, wasn't it, on Xbox?
Yeah, beginning of this year.
And it's only just come out on PlayStation, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Now, I know full well that Gadget didn't really like this game.
It's not a bad game. It just didn't do what I wanted it to do, I think.
I am, like I reviewed it on Twitter, I give it like an 8 out of 10. That's like a strong 7 and low 8. Do you know what? I really liked how it started, this game. If you don't know what it is, think Zelda, Link's Awakening meets Dark Souls and Candy's Hair, basically.
I approve.
Yeah, it's very obscure. It's very old-fashioned in its isometric action adventure game aesthetics and stuff. Like on those games, you start, you've got a map, haven't you? You know, you get a place to go. Go there. With this game, you don't, do you, Gadget? It throws you in and it's like, figure it out yourself. Now, throughout the game, you're picking up different pages of this game manual, this like legendary game manual that tells you about the world. It's in a language that you can't read. And the more you go into the game, the more pages you get, the more you know about simple controls. Like, I didn't know you could parry in this game until about an hour before I completed the game. Because I'd not found the page that showed me how to parry.
Yeah.
Which would have made the game a lot easier. Because it's not an easy game. This is a fucking tough game. There's only about 5 bosses in the whole game, but they're tough. Again, if you've ever played a Zelda game, the old style Zeldas, the 2D ones, you'll know exactly how it plays. You've got a shield, you've got a sword, that kind of thing. You get certain artifacts that help you traverse dungeons and stuff like that. But I think the cleverest part of the game is squandered by the end. Like, once you've learned everything that the game does, it's just a bog standard, like, adventure game, action adventure game. There's nothing to it. And I beat this game in about 8 hours.
Yeah, it's not a long game.
I think the pace is perfect. It's not over long. It's not too short. You know how I play games. I just zoom through it. I didn't really struggle. And then I looking up at the discourse on it, and people, apparently there's cheats on it.
Yeah, there's cheats on it.
So you don't die and stuff. I was like, fuck it, I could have used that on that 80th time I tried on this boss. But it's that perseverance thing again, isn't it? When you can just checkpoint, just keep doing it. And eventually you master everything. But it's a fun game. The controls are tight. It reminds me of that Death's Door. Remember that?
Yeah.
Last year? If you like Death's Door, you'll like this. But
it sounds right up my alley for me. So for me, 8 hours is the sweet spot for a game.
Yeah.
I'd rather play 5 8-hour games than one 40-hour game. Don't do the
it's
maths
really good.
on that.
Yeah, like I said, it's 8 out of 10. So that's a fucking great score. It's just the last hour in the 8 hours, it just didn't feel like those nuances that the game had with the world that's completely a mystery to you. Just wasn't anymore. You understood the game mechanics so well. Kind of like Neo breaking the code. Do you know what I mean? You can just see through all the mechanics. And I was like, I wish there was some surprise right at the end. That'd have been lovely, but there isn't.
I think my
There's
issue,
2 endings though.
I think my issue with it, not that it's a bad game, it's a very good game. My issue with it is I guess it was the same thing with Death's Door. I kind of wanted a bit more Zelda, a bit less Dark Souls out of it.
Do you know what, mate? I felt like that as well. I thought I'd rather it be Zelda, more Zelda than Dark Souls. It doesn't need to be Dark Souls.
Because I remember when it was revealed at E3 a few years ago. And it was kind of pinned more as a Zelda-like game. And I think I think if it had slightly more forgiving combat, for example, you die really easily in that game.
I think you get like 3 or 4 hits and you're done. You're done for even at the end game.
I mean, some of the early enemies just flat out one-shot you.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
I find one-shot is so cheap, even in the hardest games. Like, I know you want that challenge, but the one-shot is just... Nobody ever enjoys that.
Yeah. You should have heard the swearing that was going on when I was finishing Sekiro a few weeks ago. But the
thing is, with it, before you say anything, it's like you can learn how these one-shot enemies don't become a problem if you find the pages of this book that tells you how to beat them. That's the bit I wanted all the way through, right until the very end, even to the last boss. But the last boss is just the last boss.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the components that they had in it, but I wanted it to feel more like an exploration adventure rather than a combat gauntlet. I think that's probably where it was.
And this isn't a spoiler, but there's a twist about halfway through this game that I was aghast. I was taken up. I was like, wow, they've done this. And I was like, oh, that completely subverted my expectations massively. And I was like, yes. And that notched it up from a 7 to an 8, in my opinion. I was like, oh, that's fucking clever. This team, their next game is going to be a mind blower. I can see it already because this has got greatness in it. I mean, the character,
it's one guy.
It's
not a team. It's one guy.
Yeah, that guy. That little fox is so cute. He's so cute. And he's got Link's clothes on as well. It's a really good homage to those days, but like most indie games at the moment, they have to have a Souls-like component to it, don't they? Yeah. They have to. Yeah. They have to. And even I'm getting sick of it.
I was at EGX last week as well because I'm developing a virtual reality game at the moment, and one of the quick plug there, and you can see the link in my little window at this moment in time. You can't because I haven't sent you the link yet.
We'll let you plug it at the end, don't worry.
Sorry, we're not revealing anything yet. It was a crap gag.
Oh.
But one of the conversations with the development team is how much do you tell the player and how much do you let the player find? Do you want them to instantly understand your game so they can get in the fun straight away, or do you want to let them work things out for themselves and so they feel like a smarty pants, but they might get turned away? It's what they call in the games industry the onboarding process. And it's at what level do you onboard? And this sounds like a game where it could almost ask the player at the start, what do you like? Do you like the Souls-likes, or do you like the Zelda-likes? Do you want it to be more explorative, or do you want it to be more combat?
The thing is, it does do that, but I didn't know it did that. It's just in the options menu.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I didn't know that at all.
Your problem with the game is actually the problem with your failings.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I was bashing my head against one of the, I think it was like the fourth boss. Just bashing I'm saying, I cannot beat this. I've got every upgrade I can. My health's high as it can be. My sword's as strong as it can be. I've got all the magic potions I need. And then I was just bashing it. And then eventually I realised, and this is rare for me, I took my earpods out because I was listening to a podcast. This boss has got a sound cue.
Right.
And I beat it in one go.
Teacher.
I beat it in one go. So it was me. And after I beat this boss, I went searching a little bit further, earlier, and I found a page from this manual, and it says, listen to the boss.
Listen to when he says, dodge this now.
Yeah, basically. I was like, this is all my fault. And I just wish it did that right up until the very end. And apparently, there was an end game to it. Like, when I got the credits, it said, do you want to continue your quest? I was like, ooh. And then the world was slightly different. So I think there's more to it. So I'm looking forward to just going around a bit. If you like Link's Awakening and stuff on Game Boy and some of the old SNES action.
Is it on
games.
Switch? What's it on?
It's on everything.
Okay, cool. That's going on my list. That's going to grab that on Switch.
I think you'll love it if you're coming from that kind of background as well.